Rome. Around 1700, 5-minute voiceover script, step quietly into the past. The early morning light spreads slowly across the stone of an ancient city. For a brief moment, the streets remain still. Then the quiet movement of daily life begins. This is Rome, around the year 1700. Through the help of modern AI tools, old engravings, maps, and architectural drawings allow us to glimpse the city as it once appeared. The camera moves slowly through these spaces, not to explain Rome, but simply to observe it. This is not a museum of ruins, it is a living city. At the beginning of the 18th century, Rome is both ancient and new. Layers of history lie one upon another. Temples from the Roman Empire stand beside churches built during the Renaissance and the Baroque age. Streets follow paths that have existed for many centuries. Around 1700, Rome is the center of the Papal States. Pilgrims arrive from across Europe. Artists, craftsmen, merchants, and travelers move through the narrow streets. The city is not the largest in Europe, yet its presence is felt far beyond its walls. The rhythm of Rome is steady. Church bells mark the passing hours. Water flows endlessly through fountains fed by ancient aqueducts. Wooden carts roll slowly across uneven cobblestones. Nothing in the city suggests how much it has already changed, or how much it will change in the centuries ahead. Morning light spreads across a vast open space, St. Peter's Square. Pilgrims walk across the square in small groups. Workers carry tools and baskets toward the basilica. Above everything rises the enormous dome of St. Peter's, already dominating the skyline of Rome. For those standing here this morning, it is simply another ordinary day. A short walk through the streets leads to a broad staircase, Spanish steps. The steps are still new at the beginning of the 18th century. Travelers pause to rest on the stone. Merchants speak quietly near the fountain at the base of the stairs. Children move between the crowds. No one here imagines that these steps will one day become one of the most recognizable places in the city. Deeper within the streets, the sound of running water fills a narrow square. Trevi Fountain, earlier fountain. The fountain here in 1700 is modest compared to the grand monument that will replace it later. Residents arrive with clay jugs and wooden buckets, collecting water for their homes. Horses pause beside the basin as conversations drift through the square. For the people gathered here, this fountain has always been part of the city. Beyond the winding streets, an open piazza appears, Piazza Navona. Its shape still follows the outline of an ancient Roman stadium. Buildings curve gently along the same lines where spectators once sat many centuries earlier. Market stalls appear across the square, and painters quietly work along the edges of the plaza. The past remains beneath the surface here, though the people crossing the square rarely think about it. In the distance, the massive arches of an ancient structure rise above the rooftops. Colosseum. By 1700, the Colosseum is already partly ruined. Plants grow between the stones, and sections of the outer walls have collapsed. Yet the immense amphitheater still dominates the horizon. People pass through its arches and walk quietly through the shadows of its corridors. For many residents, it simply feels like a permanent part of the landscape. Not far away lies another fragment of ancient Rome, Roman Forum. Much of the old Forum is buried beneath soil and scattered ruins. Grass grows between the columns, and travelers wander slowly through the area. Artists sketch the broken remains of temples that once stood at the center of the ancient world. Few people realize how much of the old city still lies hidden beneath the earth. Across the Tiber River, daily life continues. Ponte Sant'Angelo. A long stone bridge carries travelers toward the fortress of Castel Sant'Angelo. Statues line the edges of the bridge as pilgrims move steadily across. Below them, small boats drift slowly along the river. The water reflects the pale sky of the morning. Beyond the bridge, the streets fill with the sounds of markets and movement. Via del Corso. Shops open their wooden doors. Bakers carry fresh bread through the street. Merchants display fabrics and goods outside their windows, while carts move slowly between the buildings. For the people walking here, this is simply the rhythm of everyday life. Soon, another quiet square appears. Pantheon. Massive columns rise before the ancient temple that has stood here for many centuries. Above it, the enormous dome still dominates the surrounding rooftops. People cross the square without stopping. The building has always been here. Inside, light falls through the open oculus at the top of the dome. Outside, the life of the city continues. At this moment, nothing suggests how the centuries ahead will reshape Rome. The people moving through these streets cannot know about the discoveries that will uncover the ancient forum, or the millions of visitors who will one day arrive from every part of the world. To them, the city feels stable, familiar, permanent. Yet, the view slowly begins to change. The camera pulls away from the streets of the past. Many of these places still exist today. The Pantheon still stands beneath its ancient dome. Ponte Sant'Angelo still crosses the Tiber. Piazza Navona still follows the shape of the old Roman stadium. Other places have changed quietly with time, but the space of the city remains the same. The streets still follow the same paths. The river still curves through the same valley. And if you stand in these places today, it is still possible to imagine the quieter Rome of 1700. The footsteps have changed, but the stones beneath them remain.